In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Literario classicia. This is going to be a very special episode as I have with me a very special guest, Professor Saadat Ali Khan. Saadat Ali Khan, he is an assistant professor of English at Government Graduate College for Boys, Gujranwala. He has always been a pretty mature poet, and today his first poetic play, Ajju Darling, has been published as well. And I have invited him to this show to discuss with him why he felt the need to write this particular play, why he chose this particular title, Ajju Darling, which is a very intriguing title. So, without wasting any time, let's get straight to the main topic. Saadat Ali Khan sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Professor Alizaka. I'm grateful to you that you have invited me for this literary interview for my debut poetic play, Ajju Darling. And I'm grateful to Allah Almighty, uh, to whom I have dedicated my work. And I'm grateful to all of my faculty, colleagues, my friends, my students who encouraged me to write this play. As you are saying that it is an intriguing title, although I don't agree with it, but as a reader, you can say or claim that why it is intriguing, and I will leave it a mystery for the readers as well that why it is intriguing. As you have mentioned it, that why Ajju Darling? You know that why it has become so intriguing and a name that attracts most of the readers' attention. And many of my friends have asked me why you gave this name, and it is unique and very extraordinary for me to name it as because I have named it to the great musician. Especially later on, we'll discuss about that great musician to whom I have given this name.
Sure. So, Hasab, the first question that comes to mind: why did you choose this particular genre, drama? These are the times when this particular genre has been rampant. Every year, most of the IMDb movies they are based on novels as well, and one act plays or dramas or five act plays, traditional plays. Uh, I don't believe that most of the people choose this particular genre. Why did you choose to write a play instead of a novel?
Professor Zaka, as we know that we are inhabitants of this land called subcontinent, especially India. It has a long tradition of writing dramas, and you know that Pakistanis are skilled and very skilled in writing plays, especially, and our people like to watch plays. And as you know that although in the other world, rest of the world, we see that people like reading novels. But in our culture and our society, especially Pakistani, we like to watch dramas. And as there is tradition in India as well, Shakuntala, Ramayana, and a number of other plays which were written even before the Christ. That's why I have chosen this special genre, and especially in poetry, because our Punjabi people like to read poetry, especially. And I have used different languages to express my thoughts, to express the thoughts of the characters. I have given the words of poetry to my characters to express their ideas, their thoughts, their love, and whatever they wanted to say.
Okay, Hasab, uh, when I was reading Aju Darling, I felt that you were pretty critical of the West. And don't you seem it's like ironical, it's paradoxical when you see most of the progress that has been made, it has been courtesy of the West. And I believe you were criticizing them very harshly, very brutally. What was the reason behind that?
Professor Ali, I think that it may be your point of view or opinion after reading that I have indicted the West, although we have courtesy and compliments for the West for such a great research and technology in science and in language and everywhere. But I think that it is not the outcome of the West only. It is collective wisdom, collective work of humanity at large. If we read historically or history, we know that all these things came through different races, through different nations, through different people. Whenever a nation came to rise, whenever a civilization came to rise, they gave new things to the humanity through any means, through literature, through other things, through instruments, through facilities of life, and uh, more others. And I'm not critical against the West or Europe, as you have mentioned, but I want to say that a few of them have taken complete courtesy or compliment about their white people, that whatever is in the modernism is the outcome of the white man. But I think that it is collective wisdom. We've done too much in this regard. We Indians have participated much too in this regard. We Pakistanis have added much too to the facilities of human beings. Africans have done. Far East has done. The people of China have done too much to serve the humanity. Africans have done. Europeans have done. So is Americans, North Americans, South Americans, all human beings have done whatever they could to serve the humanity at large in literature, in sciences, in technology, and whatever we think that is the modernism or modern technology today.
Okay, Khan sir, as you have given a very lengthy answer, very lengthy explanation, and you are acknowledging that this progress that civilization has made, the 21st century man, that he is enjoying all the perks and privileges, it is according to you because of the collective wisdom of humanity. But when a reader might object that when we are reading this play, you have mentioned Chandragupta Maurya, you have mentioned Salahuddin Ayubi, you have mentioned Nuruddin Zengi, you have mentioned Tipu Sultan as well, and you have glorified them. But you haven't mentioned Alexander the Great. You haven't mentioned Richard the Lionheart. Why is it so?
Sorry to say, Professor, I think that it is not so because Europe and West have much glorified these characters which you have mentioned that I have missed them. I haven't missed them because they are much too glorified and magnified by the West and the Europe in their through their pictures, through their dramas, through their documentaries, etc. But I do think that they missed too many characters which lived over here in subcontinent, but they never touched them. They never gave them compliments like Chandragupta Maurya, who conquered many states from the successor of the Alexander the Great. Although Alexander the Great was claimed by the West that as the great, the heroic character, adventurer, young man, but he wasn't so successful even to conquer the whole India. He just conquered a single state of Punjab, northern state of India. Although he was uh, brutally, you may say, he was hit by an Punjabi archer. His rib cage was demolished or broken by his arrow. But nowhere you can listen such a compliment from the West that how a Punjabi mythical Punjabi Achilles has hated Alexander the Great. Why we have to glorify just Alexander the Great, just to make white man's glorification over there? All human beings are same to according to me, and this is the main theme on which my play runs, that all we are all human beings equal in all the way. Just there is just glorification to some nation sometimes in the certain time or age of history, that sometimes there were Turks, Ottoman Empire over there ruling the half of Europe. There were Arabs who ruled, you may say, southern Europe through Spain, and there were Mongols who completely crashed all the boundaries of the world through their golden horns. Why not to mention them? Why not to say that they also gave great conquests over there? Why only Alexander the Great, Charlemagne the Great, etc.? All these nations were given a certain greatness in the age of a certain time of history.
So, Khan Sahib, once again, a very lengthy explanation. So, I have read this play and I can see what you're doing there. The empire writes back. You are representing our culture, just trying to show how mature our civilization, our culture is that has been neglected by the West. I can understand that. But doesn't it beg a question, why did you write it in English language? As you were mentioning again and again in the play, the colonial mindset. Why did you choose the language of the colonizers? You could have chosen to write it in Punjabi, in Urdu, or in Sanskrit. What's your opinion?
Thank you, Professor. You have highlighted a very great point out of it. As you know, as a teacher of English language and literature, you know that all the Western languages are derived from the Sanskrit language, the Aryan language. And it is not a unique language for us Indians or people of the subcontinent or Pakistanis, that English too is the branch of Aryan language. That's why I don't think that it is a different language. All language are given by Allah Almighty, and we can use the medium of any language. I love as a follower or you may say disciple of Maulana Rumi. My main motto or my theme of life runs on the chords of love, and I use this language especially to make much to people to understand my sayings, my thoughts, my ideas, my poetry, my culture, my language, my region. This is why I have chosen English language as a medium to express. Although I have written this play, as you have read it, that it is multilingual, multicultural, and I have translated different languages into English, especially only to make wider readership, only to get wider readership.
Excellent. So you are celebrating diversity as our Lord is the Lord of diversity.
Yes, yes.
So, Khan Sahib, as I was reading this play, I was absolutely mesmerized and overwhelmed by your expression. Wonderful language. So, when I was reading, especially the part where you have written in verses, you have written poetry, uh, I believe that is otherworldly. But once again, that begs a question: why did you choose to create a mixture of poetry and prose? Why not only prose or only poetry?
As you know that poetry is the outcome of soul's thinking. It can never be written on command, on behest of any worldly command or material command. It is, I think, an outcome of one's love. And as I earlierly mentioned that as a disciple or follower of Maulana Rumi, I like to give my thoughts through poetry. I used the different genres of poetry in this play to express my thoughts, not only different genres of English poetry, but also Urdu and Punjabi as well, to express the deepest emotions of whatever a character could think over there. That's why I used poetry. And while there are too many discussions about politics, religion, language, history, area, or the beauties of Pakistan, I've used the medium of prose. That's why I have knitted both the literary genres, poetry as well as prose, into this one play.
Okay, Hansa, one last question. Why Ajju Darling? So,
I
is there a riddle to be solved here?
yes, yes, it must be left over the readers to know why it is Ajju Darling
Okay.
and who is the Ajju Darling.
Okay. So, Hansa, as I was mentioning that I have been inspired and overwhelmed by your poetry, and I have this folded piece of paper, and I would like you to read one of my favorite poems, which is in Urdu, of course, Aisa Nahi, and the audience, they don't know that as you're my friend, and I know you are a great singer as well. So I would like you to narrate this, and I would like you to sing this particular poem.
Good. Professor
So
Elizka,
please,
you know the deepest chords of any writer.
exactly. So Aisa
After
Nahi,
the yes,
only few verses, only few verses.
I would like to say that music has always been praised by the people of subcontinent, and you know that there is long tradition from Tansen, Baz Bahadur, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and a number of other musicians have served in this region to all the humanity through their symphonies, through their music, dances, etc.
No doubt.
And you know that a number of Muslim poets, even especially Amir Khusru, has given us instrument sitar through which you can even make the hearts beat over the music or
Exactly.
over the symphonies and the poetry. And you know that the ghazals are basically meant to sing. As you have highlighted, that I must sing a few verses
Yeah,
out of
only
my
few verses from my end.
only. Uh, ऐसा नहीं कि याद मुझे मुर्दा नहीं
Wow.
ऐसा नहीं कि याद मुझे मुर्दा नहीं उस फितना खून के हाथ से घर दिल बचा नहीं हाले शराब दिल का क्यों कर कहूँ उसे हाले शराब दिल का क्यों कर कहूँ उसे जिस खूबरू के लब पे कोई दुआ नहीं उस जोरवर के रूबरू कैसे कहूँ भला उस जोरवर के रूबरू कैसे कहूँ भला लगता है मेरा दिल मगर तेरे सिवा
Wow.
नहीं
क्या बात. क्या बात.
Okay,
हाँ sir. It was an absolute pleasure and privilege. Thank you so very much.
thank you for calling me